call you on short notice, and we're all done.
Still got time, Will.
It's hot in here.
Well,
I'm on fire.
so I made it through.
Oh, it's okay, so we gotta get away with getting hit off those matches, it certainly isn't fun.
Good evening. It being October 8th, 2020, here in the town of Tamworth at 6 p.m., I will call the meeting of the Board of Selectmen to order. And we are going to set aside the agenda to deal with an item for which we needed a notary, and we are very pleased that Danny Bates could come in and notarize this for us so that we can move on. Now, if I can find it, I'll be all set. We have a selectman's deed that we need to sign and notarize, and this would be for tax map 401, lot 037, located at 1067 Washington Hill Road. This property was taken by tax lien and now is being returned to the owner after they have paid all outstanding taxes plus penalties and all costs associated with it. I make a motion that we sign said selectman's deed.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify in roll call vote.
Streeter, yes. Mason, yes.
Goodson, yes.
Ricker, yes.
Farnham, yes. Unanimous decision. So said. So we'll sign it, and if you can witness, you know who I am, I think.
Talk about it, TV. I gotta get something from them. I have about 50 of these.
No, I'm just still.
You are unmuted.
Oh, I was here.
Jim and Maureen.
Did you read your lips except you're covered? Did you read your lips except you're covered up on tape?
Okay, well, we cleared that up.
Make those clear ones for that.
They do make them. A lot of people have the speech therapy, they use them so that people can read their lips.
Yeah, a lot of elder.
Wow, this is really moves. Can I do it on this?
Sure.
Just because I have room to be able to read it. There you go. What's that? Done, Karen?
Yes, thank you.
Thank
Awesome,
you
thank you
very
very much. You're
Yeah,
Thanks,
really
Tammy.
appreciate it. Have a good evening.
Yeah.
Okay, back to our agenda. We have no appointments tonight. We have public input. Please. Do you have anything on the Zoom for public input?
Jim and Maureen are on here.
Nothing to say, thank you very much.
Okay. Anything else, Linda? Okay, then we'll move on to our new business, which is our facilities permit sticker policy. We're in the final read. Everyone should have received it and reviewed it. I think we're good to go on this.
Does Kim have to be in here for this? I mean, she can if she wants, she read it. She's good, she's good.
Thank you.
So we're gonna approve this before we discuss it at a public hearing? Or will we use the public hearing to notify people?
Or
It's
is
the 22nd.
Because it's not required to hold a
It's
public
not
hearing.
required, I agree.
So-
I'm just thinking it's one more opportunity to let the public know.
No, but
About the
I
policy.
say, I think we ought to approve it and let them know about the policy.
That's what I would think we would be doing, is approving what they're going to be notified about, like what the hearing will be about, right?
But if you do that and approve it,
Then if
then
somebody
the
comes,
public has something like, actually a good idea,
you're stuck.
And you edit it.
then you're doing it all over again.
Right.
But it doesn't require a public hearing.
I know it doesn't require one.
Up to you, I
I
don't care.
would just assume wait till the 22nd.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think, I think it's done, I think it's good to go. But I think doing it in front of the public is a benefit to the public and to us. So I'd like to do it on the 22nd.
You'll have to change the dates on it then.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
dated
Okay.
for the 8th.
Yep.
Does it have an effective date on
The 8th. On the back page.
it? No, okay, okay. That's when it was amended.
Well, that's basically the effective date, it doesn't say
Adopted,
effective,
okay, and
that's,
then we amended it. Okay, all right, I just checking. Sorry about that, but thank you. I think it'll work well. Administrative update.
I have a call tomorrow at 2 with Michelle from DRA, and we are reviewing the final things to get the tax rate set. So she said we could be one of the first in New Hampshire to set the tax rate. So that's great news.
nice.
That's a
Um,
first.
Right?
Well, there's somebody been pushing for that. I won't say who it is, but somebody has. So, after your conversation, how much longer will it be before we actually can get the information together? Will it be next
Good.
week?
I'm hoping so, but we're gonna talk about that tomorrow to see if there's anything missing that we need, but she doesn't see right now that there's anything missing.
Good, thank you.
Yep, I received a call from Health Trust, they had their board meeting. Insurance rates are going up 6.4%.
4%.
Dental is staying, where it's at, and so is the FSA, but medical is going up 6.4. Our assessor Rod contacted me, and he had said, that his email had said that John Scruton had said that the Board of Selectmen wanted us to leave a notice when we visited a property for the data verification if no one was home. He said it was to let the property owner know we were there and for them to schedule an appointment. He wanted to confirm to the board that if this is what you intend, appointments for callbacks per his contract states an additional fee of $20 for each appointment made.
I don't think it was to schedule an appointment, I think it was to allow people to know who was,
Okay.
if they were there. Because people have security cameras now, and when you have cars from Maine and people walking around your house that you don't know.
So he just leaves a card saying
Just
that
leaves a
he's
card
been there.
saying the assessor was here, if there's any
Right.
questions, they can call back to
Okay.
Karen or assessing office.
I'll clarify that for him. The nurses, dropped off their guidelines for office visits that they'd like to impose. It's a one-pager, not a lot of detail. I gave that all for you to review, so, if you wanna look that over, and we can talk about that next week. The last thing is we received, or it was dropped off to Kim, the Tamworth Outing Club, and I gave a copy to everybody, would like to do a first annual haunting in the village. They want to have every house and business on the street participate by decorating, handing out candy curbside, let's see. They recognize that people wanna opt out, but if they wanna free up their curb space for somebody who wants to come in and do it, They're also looking to, for those who are opting in, they're set up a candy dispensing device at your curbside location. And I guess they wanna know if they're allowed to. It doesn't say about, it says using our curbside side, but it doesn't say in there about using our porch. But it was mentioned to Kim about having music on the porch of the town, of the office. I'm not sure how you all feel about that. My first thought was, being with all the traffic discussion that we had, where would people park? And like, we'd wanna not have any children run over. So that was one of my first thoughts, is parking, do we block the road, do we have a police detail?
I think they would have to deal with the police detail, the auto
Okay.
club.
Okay,
As long as they're following, because we made the statement last week that the town's not, and I've posted the CDC and the New Hampshire Municipal Association guidelines on the website, not on our website, on the exchange, because that gets out to more people.
Yep.
I'm gonna post them on my health officer's page of the website. It's up to them to maintain the social
Okay.
distancing and
so
everything.
just use the guidelines.
Yep,
Now, what about the use of the porch on the building? It's not in the letter, but it was asked of Kim, so I just wanna make
Yeah.
sure we ask it now
what
and
time
not.
are they doing it from? Because Kim has late hours.
Well, this will be a-
Saturday.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
it's
a
on a
Saturday, yeah,
Saturday.
Halloween's a Saturday this year.
I know I spoke to, someone the other day about this Amy Berry, and she said it's kind of still in the beginning stages of chit-chatting about it, and it hasn't really, she mentioned that they weren't gonna be every house having candy. It might be like 3 or 4 stations where they get candy from, so it's still a lot up in the air, it seemed like. And she said maybe as it gets closer, they could come in and give us a little bit more information on it, if we wanted.
I mean, I think if somebody wants to use the sidewalk, that's fine, but if somebody steps on the porch and falls off and breaks their neck, then
Right.
that's our issue, not theirs.
I'm wondering if they're looking for power. Is that why they were?
I'm
I
not
don't
sure,
know.
cause it's not in the letter, they
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
voiced it to Kim, so I'm not sure exactly why.
Just thinking for things like the street fair, we've had to come across stuff like that. The Lyceum doesn't really have a good.
Right, and the trouble
Outdoor
is
outlet.
that this building is not built to code because there's no outlets on the outside.
There is an outdoor outlet, so there is an outdoor outlet.
I mean, if they
almost
need
at all.
power, that's one
I
thing,
think
the
it's the
power, I mean,
library.
that would
Right.
mean somebody'd have to come in,
Right.
open it like we did for the,
Right,
Yeah,
street fair.
Right.
But if we don't know what they need, we can't really
Okay.
answer it.
So I can at least respond and just say,
I feel not on the porch,
Yeah, I
No,
don't
on
want
the
them on the
porch?
porch,
No,
the
okay.
sidewalk is
but if they need
considered,
power or something, to do
Well,
something
last
on
year,
the side.
remember everybody did pumpkins, and they put them on the walkway out there, the
I
lit
think they're
pumpkins.
planning on doing a pumpkin carving in the daytime, and then when it starts to get later in the day, turn
Yeah.
into trick or treating and light up all the pumpkins that were carved.
my
and-
suggestion would be that the Tamworth Outing Club also contact the police department to
Okay,
see what
yeah.
their guidance might be.
I
That
do
is,
know that they don't want this advertised for people from away
Yeah.
come in.
Good luck.
because I don't know, and they might also want to check, because I also know that the PTA is doing something at the school, and I believe they're doing it the same day.
okay,
And I do know that someone else in Tamworth is having a trunk and spook spectacular at their place of business out on 41.
Oh,
mhm,
really?
So they may or may not wanna coordinate with all these people to see what times are going on, so people aren't trying to dash from one to the other to the other.
okay,
I mean, allow enough time so they can easily get from one to the other, not, because if you gotta maintain 6 feet distance, that's going to. And then parking, I would think if parents wanna walk, they would
Right.
park in the
Yeah.
public areas that are open for parking.
so just to be clear, your position is the same as a regular trick or treat, we're gonna just use guidelines and where it's gonna be
Well, it's
this.
a COVID trick or treat, we're using
Right,
the state guidelines for Halloween.
Yeah, okay. That's all for me.
Okay. your folder. We have for us the Selectmen's meeting minutes of October 1st. A motion to approve.
Second.
Any errors, omissions, corrections? All those in favor?
Alright,
Roll call.
oh, we gotta do,
Yeah, at least we're gonna do roll call.
Streeter, yes.
Mason, yes.
Goodson, yes?
Ricker, yes.
Farnum, yes, passes unanimously. Next, we have Selectmen's non-public minutes under RSA 91A 3 2E. Motion to approve.
Second.
They are not sealed. Roll call vote.
Streeter, yes.
Mason, yes.
Goodson, yes?
Ricker, yes.
Farnum, yes, unanimous decision. And I think there was another section.
No.
No, we just had
That was the
one.
only one, that's right. Normally, we have 3 or 4.
I
know. Accounts payable manifest in the amount of $315,961.30. Cash used to date, $7,716,058.74. A motion to approve.
Second.
Questions, comments? Roll call vote.
Streeter, yes.
Mason, yes.
Goodson, yes?
Ricker, yes.
Farnum, yes, unanimous. Next, we have, don't forget it. We have a yield tax for timber, and this would be for map 410, lot 123, in the amount of $157.66. Motion to approve.
Second.
Questions, comments? All in favor, roll call vote.
Streeter, yes.
Mason, yes.
Goodson, yes?
Ricker, yes.
Farnum, yes, passes unanimously. We have an intent to cut wood or timber for map 415, lot 34. The access will be off Depot Road.
Second.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Questions, comments? Roll call vote.
Streeter, yes.
Mason, yes.
Goodson, yes?
Ricker, yes.
Farnum, yes, passes unanimously. Next, we have a notice of intent to cut wood or timber for map 415, lot 39. Access is also off Depot Road. Motion to approve.
Second.
Any questions, comments? Roll call vote.
Streeter, yes.
Mason, yes.
Goodson, yes?
Ricker, yes.
Farnum, yes, passes unanimously. Next, we have a driveway permit for map 403, lot 4. And this is located on Mount Mexico Road, and it is for agricultural forestry, a temporary driveway permit. Has been approved by road agent. Motion to approve.
Second.
Questions? Roll call vote.
Streeter, yes.
Mason, yes.
Goodson, yes?
Ricker, yes.
Farnum, yes, passes unanimously. We've done the deed. We have before us see, I'm out of order, that's the problem.
Yeah.
We have a warrant. The inhabitants of the town of Tamworth in Carroll County, you are hereby notified to meet at K.A. Brett School, 881 Tamworth Road, on Tuesday, the 3rd day of November 2020. The polls will be open between the hours of 8 a.m. and 7 p.m. to act upon the following subjects: to bring in your votes for President and Vice President of the United States, Governor, United States Senator, United States Representative, Executive Counselor, State Senator, State Representative, and County officers. We need to post this as a warrant, and it says given under our hand and seal this 8th day of October in the year of our Lord 2020, and requires a signature and 2 copies. Motion to post said warrant.
Second.
Questions, comments? All in favor, roll call vote.
Streeter, yes?
Mason, yes?
Goodson, yes?
Quicker, yes.
Barnum, yes, passes unanimously. Boy, we're moving right along to Selectmen's updates.
I got nothing new this week.
Mary's
The town seal, I have made several phone calls about getting the new date, for the embossing of it, where the date says 1777, which should be 1776.
Yep.
To fix that, they said they would have to break it to fix it. To put a new one on that same machine. And I talked with Kim about it, and a lot of people said that that could become a piece of history and to get a new one. Because that one really can't be repaired.
Okay,
So, but I have the information that I can share with Kim, and it was around $60.
how much?
60 for a new one. And she needs it.
Yeah, let's
Good.
get it done.
So I will next week bring that in and
Yep.
show Kim, and she can make a decision where she's the one that uses it.
Right,
Yep.
good.
The other thing is I did get a call today. There was a complaint about the traffic parked on both sides of the road up at the Highland House on Cleveland Hill Road. They have a little lunch cart out beside the road. They were parked on both sides of the road. The road was only wide enough for one car to go through. There were a lot of people standing in the road, beside the road, and they wanted to know what could be
Was this
done.
on Saturday?
No, it was today.
Cause I know they had a play on Saturday,
Yeah,
so it was like an event.
this was like, I think they do lunch up there, and there was a lot of traffic, so,
Cause now they're actually offering seating up there as well.
yeah. Well, I guess everybody was,
But I say they're offering
Yeah.
seating, so they're attracting more. Before
Right.
it was just sort of a pick up.
she said there
and-
was like 3 cars on one side, and there was probably 7 on the other side of the road. So, just to make us aware.
Maybe send them a letter and ask them to instruct their people to park on one side of the road only.
Or park in their
Or like
driveway.
parking there, yeah, by the
Right.
barn.
Well, but maybe we should just send them a letter saying, you know,
We have
could you
received a
please, yeah,
complaint.
could you
Yep.
please just have your patrons park in your driveway or only on one side of the road,
In your
in your
driveway.
driveway,
No,
okay.
We want to acknowledge that they can park on the road, our road regulations,
Yeah.
that we'll do next week.
the other thing that I have is, having the possibility of having some new signs out front, you know, updating the building is shut, you know, stop here, you know, don't go up on the porch, I mean, just some more information, so, you know, Kim said people gather up on the porch when she's trying to keep them separate and stuff, if there was something that can, you know, to be looked into as to new signage, and I was here the other day, and I think there was 2 people that came and rang the back door to go to the nurse's office. So if there's something a little bit clearer farther down the walkway that they can see before they get up and,
Well, we'll have to get cones or something because a piece of paper isn't gonna stop.
no, and I think we could, you know, with the grade stake in it,
Right.
and, you know,
Or we get some highway cones and say, this is your 6-foot distance.
right. Well, but where they're supposed to go, I think there's confusion, you know, it's like they're coming to the door, ringing the bell to go to the nurse's office.
You're talking the back.
Back door.
The back door, but then the front door too is another way that you can, I think it needs to be
We need
looked
some better
into.
signage.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Well, you need farther out signage. so
Right.
that they don't get all the way
Right,
to
but
the door.
also, you know, even the people coming up onto the porch, if there's something on the door,
One
when,
person on the porch at a time needs
Right.
to be stated before you can get to the
Right.
floor.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying, this is your
Yeah,
6
like
foot
the normal
distance,
work.
if someone's on the porch, do not proceed.
at some point, we can
Yep.
come up with something with Kim and
Well,
work on that.
need to do that soon.
Yep.
Because I think more and more people are, you know, with the absentee ballots and all
Right.
that stuff, there's a lot more action.
That's it.
Well, that was the question that I found interesting. I saw it posted on the exchange today that we're allowing people to fill out their absentee ballots in this building.
Oh, really?
Well, we're the only building that's open Tuesday through Friday, and it was on the exchange that you can call and make an appointment to fill out your absentee ballot in the building.
Oh, I think, no, is that ballot or request form? I don't-
No,
I
it was
haven't-
it was
I haven't seen
ballot,
it.
because somebody said, can I only vote in person at the polls? And the answer was, no, you can make an appointment and vote at the town clerk's office inside and hand her back the absentee ballot.
Do you want me to ask him?
Yeah, because I about fell over when I saw that going,
Yeah.
and
Nobody comes in.
Alright,
I didn't think they did.
I haven't
But
seen
is there any other town, because I know unless Sandwich only
Sandwich may do it, I don't know. They may have-
I couldn't tell from the names, because it was two that I didn't recognize, so, but it was on the exchange, and we're open Tuesday through Friday, you know. So I just associated it, but maybe we need to put something out. I was saying on the exchange, somebody asked, is the only time I can vote in person at the polls, or can I do my absentee ballot in person? And the answer was, yes, contact the town clerk's office, they're there Tuesday through Friday, make an appointment, and they will allow you to come into the building and fill out your absentee ballot and hand them back to them.
Yeah, no, we haven't. I noticed on one of the news channels that Rochester had done something.
I know, this was on the Tamworth Exchange.
Yeah,
though,
but and
so-
I'm assuming they had to get special permission from the Secretary of State's office or whatever. We're not doing that here. When they fill an absentee ballot request form, we are telling them if they would like to receive a ballot, we have them now, at the time they put their request form in, that we can hand them a ballot to vote, whether they take it home, do it there, hand it back, whatever, but nobody's coming in the building to vote
Okay,
and
'cause
sit
this
and do
actually said
anything.
schedule an appointment, you can vote in the building and then hand it right
Yeah.
back to them.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about the congestion, so if you're saying to people they can fill their absentee ballot out
Yeah.
here, then that adds to the congestion on the front door.
Yeah, and I'm asking them to go back to their car if they are gonna do that and just leave the porch open so that people coming up and back and forth, we're not congregating on the
Okay.
porch.
'Cause
I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of some signage out here for it, just to
Gotcha.
space people out.
Yeah.
I'll just see what the further response is on the exchange, because I about fell off my chair, because I didn't think
Sure.
we were letting people into the.
Yeah, sure, no,
So,
and
I mean, this will be an opportunity for us to use the exchange to reach out to people and say what the facts are. Don't-
Yes,
Don't
and-
say, you know, don't go into their litany.
No,
but-
we have posted stuff on the exchange that
Right.
Kim has posted on our website, we sort of do it, so we can just send out something.
yeah, I don't put anything on the exchange,
I
I'm
know-
not
I know
on the
you don't.
exchange.
I don't,
No, no.
I know, I'm trying
Okay.
to,
But what you have put out there, I've also put on the exchange. We can
Oh,
just
as an
add a
exchange
footnote
member.
that says,
Yeah,
you know,
Okay,
so
once
we
you-
need to have something written.
I think you have to keep that separated, you gotta make sure you're as an exchange member and not as a select person.
I am,
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I mean.
I posted under my name.
Yep, just to keep that, cause I know there's been talk in the past of,
But we need to be careful what's posted out
Correct.
there, and that's why I'm saying, if it's what's on our website, it's great to post.
Yep.
Because it's on our website.
yep, great.
But, you know, we just wanna get it so that people aren't pounding on the door
Congregating.
saying, hey, you said I could,
Yeah,
you know, no, we.
Yeah,
can-
no,
So just in
I
case you get
appreciate
a lot
that.
of calls, you may be getting them, because like I said, it didn't say what town you could do this in, it
Okay.
just said that town clerk's office is open Tuesday through Friday from 8 to 4, so
Yeah.
that immediately,
Yeah.
I didn't know if there's any other towns that are open Tuesday through Friday.
okay, yep,
Anyway,
anyway,
thank you.
I'll do anything to help, but we're not in the building at this point in time.
No, I know that.
Okay. Thank you.
thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you. That was about signage. Kelly, are you all done now?
Yep.
Thanks.
Pat Farley from the EDC just was wondering if the select board was gonna be doing anything about the ERZ.
Got it on the list.
It's on the public notice to be discussed at the public hearing.
Okay, great. I'll just get back to them. That's pretty much the only thing that I had.
Becky?
I had the pleasure of sitting through a 3-hour health officers training program today. One of which they're going to hopefully start opening up for new health officers. We did find out that there's legislation going through. They're trying to tighten up the health officers program so that training will be required of new health officers, but now they're also talking criminal background checks for health officers, which I'm surprised they haven't done that before because you are going onto people's property. They covered nuisances, they covered failed septic systems. I learned something today that their dry wells for gray water is considered a failed septic system and you must correct it with a full septic system. So gray wells are not allowed in the state of New Hampshire, which I didn't know because a lot of people have them.
You mean it?
A gray well to collect like washing machine
Right.
water and stuff like that,
Right.
gray water. They're considered, if found, they're considered a failed septic system and a septic system has to be put in or that water has to be diverted to a septic system. The only exceptions are water softener and one other thing. And then I spent, 2 hours today? 2 to 3 hours dealing with the gopher reimbursement. We sent down the exact same paperwork concerning welfare and stuff that we sent down with the previous reimbursement, and they changed crews who's reviewing, and we didn't have enough documentation, so we chased around for the last 2 days finding documentation, and I will let you know eventually if it's accepted.
Well, thank you for putting your effort over that.
It's gonna be about $1,100 if they don't accept it. I was just amazed because it's the exact same work that we put down before, but whatever, so I did that.
It's more than 1,100, isn't it?
No, 104, 700, no, it's about 1,100 total for that. The other thing we did this week is we ordered both a projector and a 50-inch TV screen, so that when we do stuff like budget and stuff, we'll be able to project it so people can see it, or we'll be able to bring it up so that Karen could put it up on a Zoom screen so people on the Zoom. The other advantage to that is we will be able to see the people who are on Zoom, which makes it a little bit more interactive for those
Right.
people as well. We're going to try and get it covered because I think the total cost with it's wireless.
Yep.
I think the total cost was gonna be around $4 and $2, maybe $800. So if we can't get it accepted through the CARES Act, I will write to the Tamworth Foundation, which has offered many, many times through this year to see if we can get it covered. Huh?
So I might have one of those,
What?
them Bluetooth projectors.
It's not the projector itself, it's the component that makes everything wireless.
Oh,
It's more
because I
like a
think I got one
it's
of
a,
those like projectors that go up on a screen that's all Bluetooth and all that. It was a Christmas present last year and it's never been out of the box.
like a home theater boost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring it in.
So we worked on that. We're working to tidy up the webpage. I've almost got my hair pulled out with it. We know that Kristen has all set now, so I will update it with her. I've asked departments to look at their webpage, and I'm still finding stuff that's outdated, so I may just take it down. The outdated stuff that I know is absolutely outdated.
Better to have no information than misinformation.
Yeah, so I think that's it for me.
Thank you. I had an appointment to meet with Bruce Knox, engineer for the grant that came through from the Tamworth Foundation. Meeting him on Saturday. I looked a little bit more at the library handicap spot over here, and I spent some time today with chalk, marking out what could happen as far as lines go. It looks like we probably actually gain more parking when it's organized than when it's disorganized, so The thing is that the width of the travel lanes would be 11 feet in each lane. So you'd have 22 feet wide through the center of town, with the parking being handicapped, which it comes 18 feet off the curb out. A handicap van accessible spot is 16 feet by 18 feet total. Car is 8 feet. I think probably try and have a conversation with the Lyceum. I'm not sure where exactly the town owns the road there in front of the Lyceum, and with Katie as well. But we need to do something in town to straighten it out. So I think there's plenty of room to do it. The other thing is I received, speaking of traffic and people parking in the road, I received a complaint about people over by Narrows Bridge at Chicago Lake. There was a wedding over there, and there was a school bus parked, and cars parked on the opposite side of the road, so it was very narrow for emergency vehicles to get through. It would have been very tough. The person that complained, I said, well, it's the Chicago Lake Conservatory group that controls the grove there. We control the road, but they should try and figure out some way to restrict the use there so that it's not overused. The thing is, we don't in this town have an event policy. So there's no way that anybody can be told, gee, if you're gonna hold an event, it's gonna be in the grove, you gotta stay out of the road, you can't block the road. You know, they need to be told these things because they don't seem to get it through common sense anymore.
Well, we had started an event policy a while ago, but we had more policies jump up that were more important.
Right, I know, but I mean, I told the individual that, you know, it's something that we've been thinking about trying to do.
But we knew about the wedding there. And I
We
believe
knew about it, but we have no
we have no authority to do
no
anything
authority.
about it.
And so the issue is maybe when people write, we have to be specific and write back and say, you can do what you want over there, but you can't be in the road.
Because I believe the school bus brought their participants to that wedding up, so they decreased the number of cars that were gonna be parking there, but it was crowded.
I mean, I didn't see it myself.
It was crowded both places over the weekend because it's prime fall foliage.
Which leads to the other traffic problem we have, which is on page 8, with a new view. You know, complaints of, you know, people pulling over just because it's a beautiful view, and they don't even think, they pull over the side of the road, get out, 6 cars there, all taking pictures, walking out in the field that doesn't belong to them, screeching tires.
If you have any extra delineator rods, just run the rods, don't you, in between the parking signs, just block the complete thing off.
Then you're gonna ruin the people's view.
That's the point.
No, I meant the people that own it.
I mean, no offense, if you go up Route 16 where you used to be able to pull off to the big rock, just view the Mount Washington, Mount Washington used to be able to get 6 or 7 cars there, and they ran guardrail right up except for a small walkway right into it now.
So that's something that's, you know, then of course this next week is gonna be peak foliage, and everybody's gonna be stopping to do the, I'm gonna have a picture of that.
Well, it's my understanding last weekend there was 15 miles of bumper-to-bumper traffic through Lincoln,
And,
both sides
Hopefully they keep going
of the
that
canyon.
way.
I
And-
say, why don't we just run some delineator rods down through there so that they can't pull over? I mean, we put up no parking signs, that evidently hasn't done it, a cop can't sit there full time, why don't we just run delineator?
Well, I think, I mean,
Well, then
I
I
think
just
how that's
stop
gonna
the
work with with plowing and stuff like that, but
Pull them out when snow comes, first snowstorm, pull them out. It's all sand through there.
maybe Richard will have an
I
idea.
mean, that's what I mean, he,
But
That's the
you want me
only-
to put no trespassing signs? so
we
people don't
have
go
no
on their-
parking, we haven't,
But I mean, no trespassing and then people
that
go
doesn't
on their
stop
property.
people, that doesn't stop people unless they
But-
call
And
the
it wouldn't
police,
be
and
our
by the time,
property.
Yeah, we can't.
and by the time they call the police, those people are long gone. That's why I say delineator stakes are the easiest thing to run, and then pull them up after the end
Then
of.
they're gonna be packed on the other side, more of the road.
I
They don't
think if
have
the
to
town
close
cop
it off.
did enforce the no parking sign this weekend, that he probably could bring in a fair amount of money in fines.
Well, any parking ticket that's issued does not come back to the town, it goes to the court system.
I don't care where it goes, I'm just saying that,
It's not
rumor
gonna stop
gets
them,
out
though.
that
You're
you
gonna get
don't
that one
park there.
person from Mass, and you'll never see him again anyway. So
That's why I said, either you're gonna put a cop to sit up there full time,
But somebody driving by sees that somebody's getting a ticket for being parked there and,
they'll just say, I'll wait until the cop leaves.
yep.
Well,
I don't
Or
know.
once he's gone, 2 more show up.
Right, I mean, that's
so
what I
we
said.
You just turn
we
around.
allow them to just show up and do it. That's
Between
the
the
question.
speeding
Are we
tickets and
gonna
the
ask
parking
our
tickets, I
Chief
mean-
of police to put an enforcement there to try and restrict the parking. I mean, we know they're busy, everybody's busy.
Well, that's why I said, you either have to have him sit there for 10 hours, or you're gonna have people pulling off.
Well, but you gotta do something with the people that are parked there when it says no parking. You've gotta stop and you've gotta tell them, move it or lose it, one or the other. You're gonna get towed if you don't get in your car right now and get it out of here. And here's a ticket for parking in a no parking zone.
But the point is he's gotta be able to catch it, and in order to enforce it, cause Willie, the way they're pulling off, he could make trips right back and forth and not catch anybody in that parking area.
I think if he drove over Page Hill 5 times, he would find, if it's during the daytime, he'd find 5 people parked there.
You're right, Willie.
I mean, I think it's become a real
I
traffic
have
hazard.
no problem with it, I say the easiest way to solve that is put delineators in, and then nobody will put them on both sides of the road. With a big sign that says this is a no parking zone.
I think it would have to be like a no parking between signs. Cause it's not necessarily,
That'd be a good way to do it.
it's, the problem is that they park where it's not even safe for them to park.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. She said they'll park on the other side of the road, which they'll do. So you put a sign at one end that says this is a no parking zone, either side of the road, and you put one at the other end that says this is a no parking zone, either side of the road. I mean, personally, I wouldn't pull off there because I'd be afraid I'm going down
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
but
it's all gravel.
the road,
but-
the people that are stopping.
But then what they'll
Don't
do
know
is
it.
they'll park down the road further or
Walk
up the
up.
road and then walk down.
But it's that corner that is really,
Right.
And there's views all through the whole town.
Yeah, but that
People
whole
pull
road's
over
not
right
very
on
narrow all the
16.
way through it.
Yeah, there's no shoulders on it.
No.
Should the town put the expense of all those signs for that one property when they're all over town?
I know Sandwich has a lot of those temporary no parking
police orders.
Oh, yeah.
police order signs.
Well, we used to at the sled dog races, they had some of those that they put up one year because it got really bad.
Just have Richard put a bunch of cones right there, right on the shoulder, so they have no room to even pull in.
Well, that's what, I figured they'd drive over cones, that's why I said delineators.
I don't know. You got a nice fancy car, you don't want to dent it.
Cones will come.
Nobody thinks until it costs them money.
What about the big heavy barrels that are at the transfer station? Putting them right there until after fall foliage is over with.
It's quite a job to do that.
Well, but they're orange and they're bright and,
Oh, they're not that heavy, yeah.
no, they're not that heavy.
I'd rather have them see them steal our cones and them couple $100 barrels.
I like the signs at Sandwich Fair.
Yeah.
Those, no parking for or order of.
But I don't think, are you gonna be able to get them up by this weekend?
Well,
No.
I mean,
So, yes, should we have
Highway's
more
not
patrols
working
there?
this
Yes.
week. We're not working tomorrow, so highway's off tomorrow.
I can see how many traffic cones. I know I got some at the yard.
We could put up some caution tape. They wouldn't know what the
I
caution
don't know
was
how many I
for.
got though.
Now, there's an idea.
You put up
Couple
caution
dowels
tape, put up 2 cones with sticks down the center and put caution tape. Let them wonder what is causing the caution.
That way if somebody hits that, it isn't damaging too bad.
Right.
And then you can have more patrols up through there too.
Who's got caution tape? Fire department.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a roll of it that says don't dig here.
Crime
That'll
scene.
really make a wonder.
Yeah, we need the crime scene tape.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Right, they'll just assume.
I'm not available until Saturday to do anything on that.
If I get freed up for an hour, I'll think of something and go up there.
Well, give me a call and I'll help you put stuff up if we have to
I
drive.
don't think yeah, the afternoon I should be a little bit.
I mean, even just having grade stakes with some orange flagging
Right.
strung along there will keep people from pulling.
And I got a
over.
bunch of those actually, so.
I mean, you're gonna need pretty long piece.
Yeah, I got a bunch of like 4-footers where I can pound them in at least a foot in and they'll go in down that far.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just gonna say it, that I doubt the property owners are gonna really like it.
Yeah,
Well, you know, they don't own the road.
I'm just gonna,
Right.
They don't own the road.
okay.
And we have a responsibility to
I mean,
make
no
sure
offense,
that-
we can tell them that it's for basically until foliage is over with. I
safety,
can't imagine many people pulling off in the middle of winter and
I
there'll
mean,
be
I
snowbank
can't
there.
picture that they're gonna like people pulling over there.
I don't
I mean-
know, I just,
We have a right of way, and we have a responsibility to maintain our roads in a safe way, and if people are parking in our right of way,
I mean, it's a very unsafe
if they
situation.
want people to park there, they need to make a parking space for people. You know,
I'm used to getting yelled at in the course of the day, so they'll be fine.
okay,
I was gonna say, I haven't found them all that. If
I
you
don't think
explain,
they're gonna
if you
but I don't
explain
think
to
they're
them.
gonna love it. That's
Huh?
what I'm saying. I don't think they're gonna love it.
they chose to create the nuisance. They chose to cut the trees that made the view. This is the action that comes after that, is people don't think, they pull over where they shouldn't, and somebody's gonna get hurt seriously, there's gonna be a serious accident there. And if we don't try and do something, I feel we've neglected the citizen.
It's not a permanent solution.
No,
Anyway,
just to buy us a little bit of time.
Right,
Well, let's keep everybody safe through the weekend.
right, that's the goal.
And do you also want her to contact the police department to ask them to increase their patrols up there?
Yeah, tell them it's become a big issue. Bigger issue. I talked with John from Affinity Lighting about the light at the fire station in South Tamworth and the one at the school, which seemed to stay on all the time. And I talked to him about putting a shield and turning them slightly so that they aren't so blinding to the traffic. I also talked to him about the one which is by 25 by Kennebec Lumber. And he said that if Eversource is going in there to discontinue that and take it down, make sure that they know to bring it to the town office and leave it here. Or call when they're doing it so that we can recover the light. Otherwise, they write all over them with magic markers and they just throw them in the yard over in Chicago. And we could use that light as a replacement light if we ever needed to replace a light or parts. Seems we own it, they don't own it, we don't. He's gonna send me a schematic of all the lights, and I will contact back with him just so that we're all on the same page. But he said it'd probably be a couple weeks before they get to deal with it. But they will deal with it. We're set up for public hearings. I think we have four items on the public hearing.
items.
One will be the receiving of funds from the Tamworth Foundation in excess of $5,000. The facility sticker policy, the road policy, and
The revitalization,
Yeah.
the revitalization.
Revitalization, so we'll have four subjects on the 2 weeks from tonight.
And we hope our care money will be in so we can use that same RSA to accept the one that's over 10,000.
I talked about the striping. The light on top of the flagpole in South Tamworth is not working.
Use this one. Hasn't been working for months.
This one right here, or
The
do I have
one
the
on the
corner?
flagpole out at the veterans portion.
Okay, well, fortunately, we can pass that one off to the cemetery trustees.
No, the veterans committee took that over. Cemetery trustees don't have anything to do with it. We went through this last year.
Okay. Well, they need to be fixed.
I know.
That's the point.
I was wondering, I hate to say it, but there has been so much trouble with this one up at the center of town on the memorial. Is there anything Affinity can look at? Cause you know, the power runs over to the thing, there's only certain people that have the key to the box to get in under it, to do whatever they have to do with that flag anyway. That individual's out of town a lot on weekends and
Yeah.
stuff, and it needs to be lowered or raised or whatever, and the light hasn't worked since forever.
Okay. I know that I put up that light on the flagpole in South Tamworth when I installed it, was it a year ago? Or was it two?
Two, wasn't
I think it's 2 years ago. And what that is an LED light with a photo cell on top to charge the battery in it so it works. I prefer the ones that shine down than the ones that shine up. I presume that pole can still be lifted out of its socket in the ground, because it's a little tall to reach that high. But does the board wish me to go ahead and do what I need to fix it? Either put a new light on top or put one on the pole shining up at the flag.
Well, that one wasn't very expensive anyway, was it?
It wasn't very expensive. Replace the top?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one up here.
No, this
No,
is
the one South Tamworth, this one requires more work. Cause I don't know how many people that's electrical people have supposedly looked at that one, they can't figure out what it is. I'm almost ready to tell him to get an LED and put it up there and forget the whole.
I can't reach up this.
Uh-huh.
I'm not tall enough to get up that one, I'm maybe tall, but not that tall.
No, I know, but I say I don't know what else to do with it. They've had electricians come in and look at it, they've had everybody look at it, and it still doesn't work. They'll get it to work for like a month, and then it goes out, and it's out for months and months and months.
All right, the next thing is I talked with Andrew Keller of New England Solar Garden, and they're expecting that their letter of credit will be approved and operational so that they can withdraw from it within 3 weeks. And they plan to start their survey work at the site and move through the permitting process over the winter. So hopefully there'll be some action in the spring about installing. I think I've said enough.
Can I go back? Because I forgot a couple things, sorry.
Sure.
I was watching another municipal meeting the other night, so I don't participate in enough. And it was brought up that they had to revamp their entire sexual harassment policy and their non-discrimination policy due to changes in the federal law. I know I can pull up the CFR and probably find all the changes, but I did reach out to Primex to ask them if they had any bullet points that had changed. He said no, send them the policies, and they would have their legal team go over them. Being the tightwad I am, I emailed him back and said, is this part of our service, or do we have to pay for it? And he said, no, it's part of the service. So if you grant me permission, I will send our sexual harassment and non-discrimination portion of our personnel handbook to them for review.
Sounds good.
And the other thing is, I hate to say it, but it's really only 2 weeks until voting. Do we wanna choose times so everybody can get them in their calendars so that we don't have to be last minute? cause for some reason, I thought voting was the second Tuesday of the month of November, not the first, but,
Town meeting,
huh?
that's town meeting.
Yeah. So, it is on the third, so,
If I can do it in 2 slots again, that would be good for me. I know that it isn't.
I can't remember the 2 slots.
I did it from open to
The 10?
something.
10?
Well, what does everybody else need? I can do big slots on either end, I just need a break for the puppy in between.
You're gonna do all day?
Yeah, I'll be there all day.
I'll do 8 to 3 like I did last time.
I'll take the night shift.
Yeah, and you'll take the 8 to 10, wasn't
I
it
can
8
do
to 10?
8 to, yeah, I can do 8 to 10 and then I can
Cause
do.
we had 1 hour there that we didn't, I
What are you
I
doing?
stayed,
8
so
to 3.
8 to 3. And I'll do the 3 to 7. I'll do the 10 to 12 for you.
And what time are you getting there?
I'll probably be there around like 3:34 till whenever it's all over.
Right,
I gotta write it all down so I.
that's what I said. You did 8 to 10 last time, and then I did 10 to 12 for you, and you
But
came
you
back.
had remember you had to
It
do
was
that
it's
extra
the
hour?
2 to 3, cause you were leaving at 2, and Aaron wasn't gonna get there until 3:30, so I just stayed. So I
But now
got
you're
it
gonna
covered by
do 3 to
coming in at
7.
3. So if you wanna do 12 to 3,
Yeah, so who do we have?
So Kelly's doing 8 to 10.
and
then
12 to 3, and I'm coming in 10 to 12 to relieve you, so that
Okay.
you can let your puppy out.
They'll be there 10 to 12 and 3 to 7?
Yep.
Okay, you don't mind doing that?
Nope.
10
Okay.
to 12, and then 3.
And I'll be back at whatever time to help clean up.
7. Are you coming in at 7?
I'll come back at 7 to help
So
clean
we'll
up.
all be there at 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we're
Sounds like we've
counting
got it
and
covered.
everything
Well,
else.
cause that,
2 breaks would be good.
well, now that day, we can't get into the school until Monday evening. So all of the stuff has to be
Shuttled back.
So you
packed
want
up
crew
to,
from Monday
Yep.
night too?
Monday
yeah,
night.
we'll need some help Monday night setting up the booths and I don't know what time we can get in there, but, I mean, between your truck and my car, we had everything before. Well, I don't, Chris had stuff,
I
Chris
had
did have
2
stuff,
trips with the truck.
right.
I will clean my truck out this time.
I won't be available that Monday night.
Okay.
Okay,
I guess
What
I'll
would
do
the
it
hours,
Saturday.
can we find out what the hours would be that Monday?
yeah, well,
My
Chris
guess
would
is
know.
that it'll be after 5, but it may be 4, because I think
Right.
everybody's supposed to leave the school as soon as school's over.
Right.
I think everybody's supposed to leave, and the janitors will need some amount of time to work before we get there.
Right.
So I'm thinking probably October 2nd, 5 p.m.
November.
Yeah. That would be good, wouldn't it?
5.
And the only other 2 things is that we are going to have I gotta go back to my right calendar. We are going to have a joint loss committee meeting on October 21st at 8 a.m. And Kristen Hatch is going to be our new member because Mary felt that she was more administrative because she oversees employees at the library and stuff.
Yep.
So I asked Karen, and Kristen Hatch is gonna be our new member. So we'll
It's
have
at what
four
time,
members.
Becky?
He said 8 o'clock. That way we can get highway out.
Is that here?
Yes, we can get highway out so they can get back to work. And I will let everybody know.
Good. Excellent.
And maybe you might wanna introduce our new administrative assistant.
I'm gonna let our
Okay.
town administrator do it.
So I want to welcome Kristen Hatch, our new administrative assistant here. She started this week. She's in the corner over there, taking minutes. Wave. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else have anything?
There is an iPhone signed in, for attendance purposes. I asked if they could identify themselves, but I don't know who it is. And Jim and Maureen said congratulations on the New England Solar Garden progress. Grateful and hopeful.
All right, any public comment? Linda?
I just, is there any plan ahead after voting? What's gonna happen with all the stuff that's in the townhouse? I mean, the tables and all that stuff we put back, but there's a lot more stuff from COVID where that's all gonna be happening.
They haven't said yet through the state level. I do know there's a glove shortage. What's
No,
her
there's a
name?
bunch of stuff there, but what are you gonna do with all the leftover?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if the state wants it returned for their stockpiles, if it hasn't been open or not. We haven't heard yet. They have sent out something saying if you need more, let us know, but they haven't told us what to do with the stuff that's left.
It's just I wondered where it's gonna be stored at.
I think a lot of it from the, like the plexiglass and all of that will go down here, I would
Right.
think. But it depends, where's the election in March, where's that gonna take place?
Who knows?
Yeah,
Who knows where we'll be at that point.
and the Secretary of State hasn't said anything about town meetings yet. And there's no guidelines yet for how town meetings are to be ran this year, so. More to come. I mean, if we have to, I suppose we can bring it all up here and store it. Glove wise and stuff, we had talked at EOC,
They need them.
huh?
Rich needs some gloves, didn't he?
Well, at EOC, we were even talking, the schools are still having a terrible time trying to get their PPEs. So, we figure if they don't ask for it back, we might be able to disperse some of
I
it.
think we'll ask for it back.
No, I don't think so, but, and Rich was saying he is having a hard time getting hold of gloves. And we didn't use much gloves out of that stockpile at all, but until the Secretary of State, because they just sent out something this week asking if any towns needed more PPE. So I think they're expecting so much in November that they're figuring you're gonna deplete a lot of it. But I agree, I suppose the plexiglass could come up here and store down cellar.
Yeah, I can't see it voting over there if it's still COVID,
So should we think about that sort of stuff before the end of voting, so that we put it where it's going, move it once?
that night, we can see, I guess, kind of wait and see. Cause with the stuff, it's gonna,
That's a long day to
Yeah.
put stuff downstairs.
Yeah.
I just was thinking if you had like a list, you
Same
could put
thing,
some
I
stuff in
can't
there and
foresee,
there's-
you're gonna have to use voting booths, and truly, I do not foresee much changing between now and March, I really don't, in the way of guidelines. Not as long as we keep climbing, I mean, they've now said, no offense, in states that are no longer climbing, they're still scoring back on what they're doing. So, I don't foresee any changes saying.
Hard telling, not knowing.
that's right,
So more to
So the
come.
answer to your question, Linda,
maybe.
we'll let you know.
Just put it in your mind.
Yeah,
If we can store it there until at least the end of the year.
right.
I mean, like the library has a whole bunch of chairs in there too, and I just don't want it to become a dumping ground.
Yeah, no,
Well,
It was a lot of work to clean it all out, we don't need to make
that's
it a
for
mess.
certain.
okay, any other public comment? Seeing none, I make a motion, we go into non-public under RSA 91A 32E at 7:02 PM.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Street, yes.
Mason, yes.
Goodson, yes.
Wicker, yes.
Farnham, yes. Unanimous decision, we're in non-public. Make a motion to come out of non-public session.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Street, yes.
Mason, yes.
Goodson, yes.
7:10.
Wicker, yes.
Farnham, yes, at 7:10. We're out of non-public session, back in regular session. And the minutes will not be sealed from our non-public.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Non-debatable, non-questionable. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
What's the time? 7:11.